evening, everybody, and welcome back to episode 3 of the Anti-Bias. Welcome, as always, my mate, the man with a million nicknames, Ian Ian. Hampo in English and Hampo in Afrikaans.
Cheers, Mikey.
Cheers.
Always good.
Yeah, the Hampo, winter has certainly arrived in
Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Yeah, it's just a wet, chilly day, but we need it. It's good. It's good. No,
Yeah, I think it's come early this time around.
Yeah.
Although it didn't turn out to the worst looking evening if you look behind
Yeah.
you, maybe better than
Yes.
behind me.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, as of tonight, you'd probably be doing the show with jackets on as the norm.
There we go. Yeah.
No more shorts and come right off the bowl screen to do the,
Yes.
the
To get
show.
behind the mic. Yeah.
No more of that. Now it's longs and scarves and beanies.
That's my favorite time of the year, man. Fires, rugby.
Yeah, but I mean, you
red
are
wine.
like 1/3 Scottish.
I was made for the ice and the snow. Yeah.
You were. You look more like one of those Nordic Vikings than a Scotsman, but
What are you
but
trying
still-
to say? Look like one of those rubbishes from the north.
yeah, it's basically. Your surname suits it, though, Hampshire.
Yeah. Snuck in there somehow. I don't know how it did, but anyway.
Grandma sneaking around with one of the Poms.
Yeah. Grandfather, actually.
Grandfather sneaking around with one of the Scottish maidens.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
So we're going to start off. We got an action-packed or full lineup tonight for you. We're going to start off with some news from around the country. And again, if you guys have any news, we only use what we see on Facebook. So if you have anything to share with us that you feel it's worth mentioning, please send it through to us on our Facebook page, the Anti-Bias, and we can discuss it next week. We're going to start off with the Port Natal Under 25 Masters. There you have it, your winner, Jared Barristoon.
Well done, Boyke.
Yeah, well done, making a name for himself. Him and his brother. We'll see Keegan now. I think Keegan got bronze.
Yes.
But they're certainly making a name for themselves, the Barristoon brothers in Port Natal.
It's great to see you.
Yeah, and there, Ty Smith, or Smith in second place, and in third place we've got Keegan Barristoon, the brother of Jared. I don't know if he likes to be called that, the brother of Jared.
We'll say that this time around because he got bronze and the boot got
Yes,
gold.
okay.
Yeah, so,
Yeah. We'll just say Jared's brother Keegan got bronze,
yeah.
and I think they do it quite nice. I think they have a playoff for third and fourth, so
okay.
it's not a guaranteed bronze if you finish. I think they've got 4 sections or 6 sections, and the 2 best losers. So your 6 section winners and your 2 best losers in the section go through to a quarterfinal.
Oh, so that's quite a good field, eh?
Yeah, so quite a big field. And from there on, then it goes into knockout. So then you've got a third and fourth place playoff. So your losing semi-finalists obviously play in a bronze medal match, which is quite nice.
Yeah, that's good.
So up next, we're going to our neighbours, your friends. So the EP First Division, or First League as they
First
call
League,
it.
yes.
First League as they call it. Ampa, you want to start us off there with your mates?
Yeah, so the ladies from the Woods Bowling Club doing very well there. Desi and Desra and Lanal and the girls doing very well and winning the league there. Well done. Big congratulations to them.
Yeah, I wonder how many times they've won it consecutively, because that's quite a good field.
Yeah.
Oh, they've got quite a strong
I
setup.
can imagine they must be pretty close every season, eh?
Yeah. And also a nice bunch of ladies.
100%.
I mean, you always get invited for Braais and Jägermeisters with them whenever you guys at the same venues.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
And then my boys there from Dispatch,
Yes.
the league champions. I don't know if that's ever happened or when last that happened, but I can tell you a couple of stories. We played the national pairs there last year, myself and Daniel Vaughan.
Okay.
And probably the nicest bunch of people I've met at a venue. The hospitality was incredible. They looked after us nicely, friendly bunch. Daniel didn't like it so much, but I said if it's good enough for Rassie, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, keep that Dispatch name strong and going. I mean, we all know Dispatch from Donny Gerber's days.
Yes,
the
it's
Donny
good
from
enough for
Dispatch.
Donny Gerber, and if
Yeah.
it's good enough for Rassie, Rassie is good enough for me. But it
100%.
wasn't good enough for Daniel Kivon. So we're pulling up to Dispatch, and we don't have cash. We need to stop at the ATM at the garage. And for those of you who know Daniel Vaughan, he's got long hair and an earring, and he's got a bit of tattoos, and he's English.
Yes.
And Dispatch is not really known for its English.
No.
And we were driving with two of the correctional services guys, Wynand Paul and Franz Trotsky. So I quickly go and I get cash and I jump in, and Daniel gets cash, and Wynand Paul says, "Where's he going now?" I said, "In the shop." He says, "Met hy oorbel en hy tattoos en hy lang hare, hy's bloody braaf." So he got compliment on his bravery.
Okay.
But yeah, so Daniel Vaughan, I think, didn't enjoy the trip to Dispatch as much as I
They're
did.
probably still speaking about him. Though.
Ja, daai goal wat hier in die manspare gespeel het. Only joking, Daniel. I don't know if you're watching. Not too
be
sure if
watching.
you're watching, pal, but
I'm sure they'll be watching.
so yeah, up next we go to up north to JBA, where in the JBA mixed trips that's just been completed. You've got the winners there, Grant George, Jason Janssen van Rensburg, and Liesel George from the House of Champions, or as it was known earlier years, Belgravia.
That's your old neck of the woods.
That's
eh?
my old neck of the woods, yes.
You
and
won,
then
you won Gauteng Fours out of that.
Gauteng Open Fours with Donald.
Fours,
And then in silver there, Morningside, Josh Turner, Gian Scarola, and Emma Murphy.
Yes, yeah.
And guys, there's been memes going around. That's not Shane Lowry. It's actually Josh Turner. We saw on the Aero page in the week,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
saying, is it his cousin or is it his brother or lookalike of the week? It's not Shane Lowry, the golfer.
Yep.
It's Josh Turner. So well done to them for their silver medal.
Yep.
And in third place from Rich Park. Not too sure. I think that there's 4 there. I see Peter Miller there from Henselite. So well done on Rich Park. Michelle Craig that does their marketing. So well done to them.
Yeah, very well done. It's an interesting format, eh? The mixed trips.
Mixed trips, yeah. It won't work in Western Province because the amount of safeguarding emails that will be sent out after a tournament like that, the whole district will be banned, men and women, because I believe the safeguarding should go both ways.
100%. Yes.
And so the mixed tournament like that after the precedent that's just been set won't work, unfortunately. So it is a nice concept for other districts,
yeah.
but I don't think for ours it will work all that well.
Yeah.
Okay, then we come back to Western Province. We decided we didn't want to post the youngsters' pictures, the under 18s pictures. We don't have consent from their parents, firstly. And we also don't want to open ourselves up to any safeguarding issues.
Sure.
So we've decided not to put pictures on, but very well done to Tando Miraji. Also, a Fairtree PBA Foundation Academy member.
Yeah, well done, Tandu, and defending his title. 2 years in a row.
So well done to Tandu and the coaches at the foundation on the work you've done there with young Tandu, and Matthijs van Tonder, the Durbanville boykie, had a good weekend.
Yeah.
He played quite well.
He played very well. He beat both Viggo and William Nietling. to get
Yes,
to the
that's
final,
big
so,
victories.
yeah, very well done to him.
And then you can carry us through there, Amps.
Yeah, Viggo and AJ getting the bronze there in the boys.
Yeah.
We move over to the girls. So absolutely dominating the weekend. Jordan Castle, she was outstanding. Hannah as well played very, very well. Only lost one game, and that was to Jordan. It was quite a close game. I think it was 21-18 or something like that. And then the very, can I say, the big character of Anzal Bernardi. She's got a real passion for the game. She's very, very hard on herself. I was watching her. I think if she channels that how can I say, that passion in the right direction and doesn't get so hard on herself, she's going to be a serious player.
Yeah. I didn't watch too much. I saw a Facebook comment, which I didn't appreciate too much about under 18 goals.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
But one thing I didn't like for this age group is we've got a lot of. So they didn't have under 15, which I feel is fine, but there are a lot of young players playing in it, like under 15s, under 10s, under 9s. And one thing they didn't allow is they didn't allow coaches for these kids.
Yeah.
Now, someone like Jordan in a field like that don't need a coach. Neither does Hannah, neither probably does Anzal. But the younger players, boys and girls, they need that support, even if it's just for a hug, even if it's just for, consoling when things are going bad. And I'll tell you what, I think the district got it wrong in not allowing them coaching or coaches for an event like that. Take it away from that for the under 35s, by all means. I mean, we all too stubborn in any case to listen to anyone. But for these kids, I think they absolutely 100% got it wrong in terms of not allowing these youngsters any coaches, even if it's just for moral support.
I agree 100%. I was actually very disappointed to hear that. I was asked by one of the players to be coach, and then after hearing the news that it wasn't allowed for various reasons, I think it was more because of a time factor than anything else, which you can understand. But then let the kids know exactly what and how it works, and the managers and coaches know exactly how it what it works. So that you don't get involved if the player comes to you, and then you get involved and all that kind of thing, basic ins and outs of it. And then 100%, you're 100% right. When you take a player like Anzal, she needed that. She 100% needed that. She's getting so down on herself and all that kind of thing. She just needed a quick little 20-second, hey, get it together, carry on. And she might have ended up with a silver. But yeah, I was disappointed.
And it could be from a parent. It doesn't need to be from a playing parent or a playing member of the family. It could just be someone that's just there, Molly, just to give a hug and say, wipe your tears, let's get back going. Do what your coach, remember what your coach has told you in the build-up or leading up to this tournament. Just go back to basics. You don't need to give some balls tactics and just sometimes I just need a hug. So I think they got it completely wrong with regards to that. But hopefully, let's hope they learn.
Correct.
Up next, we go to the under 35s. There you go, in the men. Armand Tascari.
Yeah, I'm doing well there. A question was posed to me while here on the Saturday watching the under 35s. Because I'd obviously watched our show, which is a good thing. We get asked these questions, and immediately I think, oh, you watched our show, thank you. But the question was from quite an opinionated person. I see you guys never picked Armand and all that kind of thing. So I never answered back. I just kind of shrugged it off and smiled. But the thing is, Armand's a given in under 35. So why must he be a pick of ours? It's like saying 20 years ago, is Tiger Woods your pick to win the Masters of Augusta? We're looking at other challenges, other guys who are vying for the title and that kind of thing, and that's what we based it on. But very well done to Armand.
I spoke to Armand afterwards. He said he didn't even play well. He's struggling with a bit of a hamstring injury, and he wiped the field. No one really came close to him.
Yeah.
Shows the difference in standard from where Armand has been and developed to where the rest of the field actually is. Yeah. And we'll chat about that later and on this evening when we have our discussion about the Province Masters. Why are you smirking, Ampo?
Not smirking, smiling. It's a difference.
And Silver, he played in the final against Luke Ellis.
Yeah, Luke did very well. Who was it that did him a favour there in that field there at last game of the day? Can't remember now. It was
not only meet with Choppy as well.
Oh, Choppy as well.
Me and Choppy did him a favour.
But anyway, well done to Luke. He kept himself close enough to make it to that final. And I don't know if you watched the final. He was close for a bit, and again, not nearly as bad as Anzal, but tends to get very down on himself and start slapping the leg with a lappy and all that kind of thing. Something he's going to have to look at moving forward in singles, because he's definitely got the ability.
Yeah, I think he won our section, and we had 4 players on the same points, and he had the most shots, and 17 of that 21 shot aggregate he got against me on Saturday afternoon. So
you thank you twice.
Yeah, so he used me for shot aggregate after I used Choppy for shot aggregate on Saturday morning. Yeah, then we go into the bronze medalists. Ryan Chitter, winning bronze there. He came out of Luke's section, dipped out and shot aggregate by quite a few shots in the end, pipping Rowan Stone by 1 shot.
Okay.
And Tyler Pritchard, the local Durbanville lad, just pipping the other Durbanville lad, Erkies, which is one of our picks.
Yes.
And I think Tyler was my other pick, just on shots. I think 1 or 2 shots. But what a field! What a strong field, and what a venue. The greens allowed for incredible bowls.
Yeah.
I think the standard was quite high most of the weekend. I just feel that some of, and just to mention, Armand also a PBA Foundation Academy member. So congratulations again to the Foundation Academy and the coaches. I just feel that from a mentoring perspective, there needs to be attention placed on these under 35 players, especially the younger players. Excuse me. I think there is things creeping through on their on-green behavior, and I'm not singling anyone out. There's a few, and I'll put myself in there. I'll put my name in that hat as well every now and then. There needs to be mentoring done, and proper mentors.
Sure.
Not guys that's going to teach them. We don't want them to lose their competitive edge on the green. And I'm not saying change but it's when things go wrong, how they react. And I put myself into that category as well. So it's not just pointing fingers at others, it's myself as well. I think there's some serious mentoring that needs to go in, because that is the next group that's coming through for Western Province. And if that is the way these players are going to, and me included again, going to be behaving when things don't go your way, or when you play a bad shot or you get a bad result, the province is in bigger trouble than what we think, because this behavior, it doesn't give you the competitive edge. It's just a bad on the eye.
Yeah, I agree. Look, again, 100% nail on the head, Dave. It must be the right person for that. Someone who's been there and done it.
Yeah, but there's someone that's sort of doing it now, which I don't think is the right, because that's where they see it.
So I'm gonna use 2 examples here. I'm gonna take Wayne Roberts. I'm gonna take Peter Harvey. You watch him play a singles game. If you just arrived and you hadn't seen the scoreboard, you won't know if they're playing badly or well at the time, because that's how they are playing the game. And I think that is the role model. Those are the guys that these guys are going to look at their behavior in the green, how they played, and then learn from that and work with that in the game of singles. Because you not only make yourself calmer and a little bit more relaxed, but you're taking a little bit longer before you get on the mat and the whole kind of thing. I think those are especially 2 guys I could learn from.
Yeah, of course, and I think so. There's others as well,
For sure.
but there needs to be attention given to, especially that group of men.
Yeah. Look, you understand there's a lot of passion there, and there's obviously rivalry, you know. But still, I mean, don't give your emotions away.
I'm not going to name names, but I'm going to count probably 5 or 6 individuals that.
That's not one section.
Yeah, it's probably half the field
Yeah.
that could use some mentoring and some guidance.
For sure.
On to the ladies, and that was, we called it a 2-horse race from the beginning. We called Michelle Reynolds and Gillian. So winner Michelle Reynolds, what a 2 seasons she's had. She just won the Premier League, won a silver in the singles early on in the year, and now she won under 35 Masters.
Yeah, no, she's said it's been an absolute fairy tale story for her, and well done to her. She's putting in the time and she's playing well.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to be a difficult one to play against in the Open Masters.
I think so.
100%.
Gillian, tried and tested. She's been around the block. So she's won silver. So well done to Joel on her comeback to sort of Western Province bowls after endeavoured, or what do you call it, her journey to Boland. She's made it back home.
Yeah, hopefully she sticks around, and she starts proving some people wrong and all that kind of thing, and gets back in the mix and where she should be. 100%.
And the bronze medalists, Brittany Clark, and Megan Redling, I guess.
Megan Redling, from Mowbray.
From Mowbray. So well done to her. I think
very much so,
she'll be happy with that weekend of hers. Up next, we had a little interview with Wade Pretorius yesterday. We were hoping that he'll join us in studio today, but he had bowls commitments,
Which didn't happen.
which didn't happen. I thought as much, but at least we got it out the way last
Well, it was
night.
because of the weather. But
No, because of the weather, but we got it out the way last night. And the topic is quite interesting. Is about all the AI going around in bowls marketing currently. So we're going to take you to that interview. Yeah, thank you very much for your time, Wade. I appreciate it, Ampo. Thanks for joining and jumping on. Wade, do you mind? Can you maybe just give us your background when it comes to digital marketing?
In 2020, I went on my own and opened a small little agency and advising different companies on digital marketing strategies, implementation, how to basically get more eyeballs or get more customers, etc. So my business, we have a few people employed, and we help different kinds of businesses, from insurance companies to investment firms to bowls suppliers, sports companies, sports betting, etc. Yeah, so digital marketing is what I do day to day.
In your experience, obviously, you're saying you're running a small little marketing company or agency with campaigns. Have you ever hit 1.2 million views off of 2,300 followers on a Facebook page?
In what time frame are you talking about?
In a weekend?
No, in a weekend, no. I've never done that. Obviously, when it comes to marketing and when it comes to social media, when it comes to keeping clients, you need to report, you need to show things, you need to show eyeballs, engagement, impressions, etc. I work across Google Analytics and things like that for a few different companies, but no, I've never been that successful. Given the algorithms at play, right? The different platforms. Obviously, I work across all the different platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, LinkedIn, Google Business, etc. So to get those kind of numbers that you are talking about is very, very impressive.
Yeah, so I'm obviously not mentioning that number because to sell you short in any way. It's just that's what these let's call them bowls marketers currently out there is numbers that they are claiming over a weekend and over sort of 3 days. There's not even 1 million bowls players in the country. I think what's our membership standing now at BSI, 20,000, 30,000. Claiming 1 million views over 3-4 days. For me, I just can't see that happening, and that's why I asked you, that someone that does it professionally. These guys don't even do it professionally; they do it as a part-time. Are claiming these numbers. So I thought maybe to ask someone that does it professionally if actually you think it's possible. And I think your answer, saying it's based on the brand or the promo or let's call it the product, bowls isn't that marketable in the first place. So they must be doing something right, or they're getting the numbers wrong.
Let's touch on a few things you've said there, right? So bowls is obviously a niche sport, that goes without saying. But today I saw a press release from the Southern Guards, which is obviously the Live Golf team made up of 4 South Africans. And they put out a press release to say that they reached 187,000 unique viewers over Live Golf in South Africa during that Stain City event, which fortunately through work I was able to attend, and it was an outstanding sporting event from a spectacle, from a being there, from a live production. You had Black Coffee on Friday night, you had Calvin Harris, etc.
If I pose you a question, Wade, something that I think I would love your comment on. I'm saying AI doesn't ruin marketing, but bad marketers using AI lazily ruins marketing. Is that what we're seeing in bowls currently?
To answer your question in a different way, we are fatigued by the overuse of AI. Does AI have a place? Yes. Do I use it? Yes. Do I pay for multiple AI subscriptions? Yes. Could I use it more? Definitely. Does it have its place in bowls? Yes, it does. I'm answering a lot of questions already, as you know, but are we delivering a great message to our current base, and what is our non-current base? You know, all those business league bowlers, those guys that work in PAL and the Stellenbosch regions, etc., where they in series and where there's good business leagues going. You know, those guys, you work in the industry, so you know your brain shuts down to that stuff. Like it just does. If my 8-year-old daughter is shut down to it already, then we know we have a problem. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing something more basic, more simple, a nice image, backed with some writing, and it looks a little bit more authentic.
Yeah, I think authentic is the word that we're looking for here. I think you've hit the nail on the head. We're saying that, okay, we bowls has never been more alive than it is at the moment on social media. But the fatigue that you're mentioning is absolutely real. So, I mean, are we mistaking more content for better marketing? Because right now bowls feels louder, but it's not more interesting.
We need to market outside of bowls. If we are just sharing one piece of content with the exact same audience, we're not reaching any more numbers. You know, if you as a bowler are part of 9 different groups and you see the same post 9 different times, well, one, you don't, because the Facebook algorithm throttles you so that you don't. But you know what I mean? The sharing one piece to 20 of the same groups doesn't help the cause. We need to see different stuff. We need to see different viewpoints. We need to see unique stuff that's, JDA is very different to Western Province for a multitude of reasons. And I'd love to see more of that. But there's a reason why something like when Michelle Schlesser does her predictions gets quite a good reach and a good interaction, because it's words on a thing, which doesn't necessarily follow what I would say is my best practice, because I always say, well, one, if you can do video, that's the best, and 2, if you do some good imagery, that goes best. She just goes words on a screen, and Mr. Bowles does the same thing. I'm not singling out her, but what I am saying is that authentic production offers more value than slapping down, hey, ChatGPT, tell me what are 5 key things a bowler should know, or give me a bowls tip. What is it? Collide, don't collide when you deliver a bowl. Hamper, I don't know. I know there's a few bowlers that we could probably give that tip to, but I don't think you've ever heard that saying, collide, don't collide when you throw a bowl down the green.
No, this could be a first for me. When are we going to get? Why are we going to get coaching tips from artificial intelligence platform in the form of a worded caricature or whatever, animation of? It doesn't even look like this person's holding a bowl. It's just too much. It needs to be more authentic, as you said.
Yeah, I think authenticity is one, and then also 2, some sort of standard, right? That you want to hold yourself to. Like, so from a bowls production point of view, Bowls Australia is by far the leader. They do great stuff. They've got podcasts, they've got content. It looks classy, and maybe Mornay, as much as sometimes I think me and you are not very similar, and I think the same goes for me and you, but maybe we think to alike, and we maybe, and I had to have this conversation with myself, maybe I'm not the target market for this kind of content. I want things to look professional. I want things to be streamlined. I want things to have a discernible branding to them, particularly when it's a page of substance, not your club chat group, your organizational bodies. I did my best not to say Bowl South Africa, but there you go. I said it anyway. Like Mornay, I'm not involved in the club anymore, and I'm not involved in the page, but Mowbray Bowls Club, they do a very, very good job. It is as authentic as you can be. although I haven't seen it in a while, so hopefully I'll get stitched up and someone sends me 10 ChatGPTs that they've sent out in the last month. But when it comes to my training as a journalist and in media, etc., the slogan, the mantra has always been content is king. It always has been. And, you know, and people will get excited about different things because we're not all the same. So I will say that like Henselite are doing a great job. They're putting out a lot of content. They're putting on a lot of, you know, events, etc., pumping a lot of money into it. And then, you know, from a marketing perspective, there's good results, bad results, indifferent results, but that's how people have to equate for financial business decisions, you know. So whether the return on investment for anything you do is thing, but what's the return on investment for throwing up for 20 prompts into ChatGPT and throwing it onto Facebook? Like for me, you've made me less of a Bulls fan than I was 3 months ago.
I was going to ask you, what's worse here, Wade? Having no marketing at all, not doing any marketing, or AI generated content that looks good but just there's no soul behind it. Where do we find the balance?
I think the balance is somewhere in between. You can't do nothing because that would be terrible, but you can't do what you're currently doing. So you need to scale it back, and you need to bring more life into what you're doing. You need to bring more real human imagery into what you do, and then I think you're in a just put a human face there. I think there's a lot of cool content that say, for example, Bowl South Africa have done in terms of flooding you with interviews. You know, they're giving the bowlers themselves a chance to talk. So that's a huge plus. But you know, so maybe more of that. Spend twice as long getting half as much content out, but making it, you know, putting the bowlers in the spotlight, not a caricature of whatever ChatGPT has thrown up.
I don't think a workshop on just how to copy paste and how to do this is the way forward. What's the best way to carry this message forward and say, guys, let's take a step back and bring the human factor back into this?
If everything looks the same, we're going to get even more fatigued.
So that's what I'm saying. There's a workshop being offered now by let's call it individuals or a group on how to use AI in marketing for bowls. I mean, we are going to get, if that thing flies, we are going to get even more fatigued.
AI is great. AI can help. AI can make it faster, but AI cannot do everything, and AI needs human oversight. And I think therein lies the solution to all of this. So not more AI, a little bit of AI, a little bit of human, good collaboration, moving forward for the game of bowls. I think that's what we all want, right? You guys do a bowl show. If bowls plummets, your podcast would go from 5,000 views to 500, and no one's winning. So it's a human oversight, and we need checks and balances like everything, because otherwise why not just leave it all for the machines? Coaching advice, you guys have got Anneke Skeppers. You see, I've got her name right, unlike other people
like Jerry.
Who use her maiden name. You know, Anneke Skeppers giving you coaching advice, which is invaluable, which is wonderful for other bowlers around the country, that it's free and accessible. You know, that's all we want.
And it goes, Wayne, do you want to end off with something? You want to make a little lasting comment?
Let's find more ways to promote the sports than ways to diminish the following and the good work that a lot of our volunteers are doing.
Of course. Hamper, anything to add?
Yeah, look, thanks, Wade. Your insight is very good. Look, it's not my field of expertise. You know, I can go and build you a clubhouse, but when it comes to all this kind of thing, I don't really take much interest. In fact, I'll be honest and say that I've never actually physically used ChatGPT, to be honest. It doesn't really interest me, but I guess the issue here is it's so really available and easy for people to use, that anybody can use it. Again, it's just taking away that authenticity, as you said. We want to keep it real, we want to keep it, exactly, keep it authentic and keep it real. I agree 100%.
Right. Thank you very much for your valuable insights and your time. I really appreciate having you on. And you are officially the second guest that we've had on. Well, the guest has been on twice now with us. Yeah. The second appearance. If you were with us, we would have given you a little something. But now, next time we'll see you, we'll just give you a little high five to thank you.
Yeah, quite incredible. One of the irony of being, I'm not Cape Town, I'm from PE, but we've got a guy sitting in Durbanville, we've got a guy sitting in Goodwood, and we've got a guy sitting in Claremont. We couldn't get it all together in the same place, but that's that is quite hilarious.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys, and I appreciate Wade. Thank you very much again. I do appreciate your time.
There you have it. Some valuable insights there from Wade.
100%, yeah.
And we ran a poll just for the sake of it today. Someone said clickbait, might have been. And we said, how do you feel about the current use of AI in bowls marketing? And look, I think more than 30% of our followers commented.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's thousands. It's probably 0.5% of bowlers in South Africa.
Okay.
0.5%. But the general feel was 54% said too much. I miss the realness. 4%, a total of 2 votes, said I love it.
Yeah.
And 42% said AI is not the enemy. It could be used different.
Yeah.
And the full segment with Wade will be posted on our YouTube channel. So to actually go read and review. Just want to touch on some of the comments here. Good evening, guys, and thank you very much for tuning in. Just based on the Disability Nationals, we wanted the tournament to be completed before we actually give all the feedback. So next week there will be a segment based on the Disability Nationals. So we're not leaving anyone behind. There'll be full updates. We'll have some interviews with some of the winners next week or throughout the week that we will post, and we'll give you a full breakdown of the Disability Nationals. But what was quite nice is today is the first time I've ever seen streaming of the Disability Nationals. And I was watching my mate Philip Bailey play, I don't know, I think it was a pair semi-final or something. Sadly, he had an incident a couple of years ago and got paralyzed, and he's in a wheelchair, and he was a very good bowler. Yeah. It was the night before he had to play the last 16 singles game of the Open Nationals.
Oh, shame.
Had an accident, and good to see him back in bowls in his wheelchair, and ever vocal as always. So it was whoever brought that streaming. Thank you very much. I think well done. Hats off to if it was arranged by Eden or BSA or if it was sponsors, if it was Henselite that brought it to them. Brilliant, guys. Well done. Hats off to you guys and including everyone. Before we carry on, as always, we have to thank the people behind us. We are only the face of this, and Bits and Pixels. Thank you very much again to them for bringing this podcast. I don't actually think it's a podcast. I think it's a vlog. I think that's the right word, or a show, if you want to call it that. I think that's the political correct. Well, not that is the actual correct term. I think a podcast is just for listening. But there's their product suite or their solution suite, guys. As you see there, we build brands, and we are one of their brands that they're building. But not only do they do software and app development, logo and brand identity, website and marketing, e-commerce and online stores, and as we can see, what we do is podcast and streaming. So go on their website. If you have a business or you're part of an organization and you feel that you need some optimization done, whether it be on your website, whether it be on your apps, whether you feel like you want the online store built in, or look at online stores, if you want to start a little sideline or have something there. Just a comment caught me, which I'll answer now. So have a look at them, guys, and go support the guys that brings you some bowls news.
Yeah, look, we see it. We see it firsthand. Yeah, what's happening behind the screen. Yeah, what's going on behind the scenes and the equipment that's involved and the people that are involved. Yeah, amazing. It's super professional, and it's every time I'm here, I just got to pinch myself to realize how lucky we are.
Yeah, we are very fortunate, and as we always say, thanks to them.
Thank you.
I see my mom's made a comment here.
Oh dear.
No idea. It's a nice one. She says, what about hosting a digital marketing online workshop presented by Wade? It's a possibility. We could also have it done by Bits and Pixels, our sponsors.
Correct.
So we'll look at that going forward.
Yes.
Up next, a very exciting segment, episode 2 of the Coach's Corner, presented by Anneke Skeepers, the BBA Foundation coach.
Here we go.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Coach's Corner, brought to you by Grip and Stuff. Today we'll be starting a 4-part series discussing the different roles of the players in a force side, starting with lead. I believe leads are so important, from placing the jack, applying that initial pressure, and building the head. The first thing the lead needs to do is place the mat and roll the jack where his or her skip wants it. A nice exercise you can do is to place markers or cones at different lengths and practice getting your jack to each of those. Mastering this will already give your team a massive advantage during the game. The second thing is to draw. Get your balls as close as possible to the jack. Stick to one side of the green if possible. Majority of the time your line and weight will remain similar. Most skips will prefer you stay on one side of the rink, unless otherwise instructed. If you're worried about balls being in your way, you can always place 1 or 2 cones in front of the jack and try to get around them. Practicing a few 20-20 exercises will be very beneficial to you as it builds confidence and consistency. Another exercise that I like to do is to practice with 2 jacks. You roll your first jack, followed by your first and second bowl, and then you roll your second jack, followed by your third and fourth bowl. This will get you the relationship between the jack and the bowl. If I roll the jack this hard, what force would I have to use, or how hard would I have to bowl my bowl to get to the jack? If you can nail your first bowl every time, this will definitely give you a massive advantage over your opponent and put you at the top of your skips list when putting a side together. Something important to remember: don't chase the shot. If you're shot down, keep drawing and put your balls close. Build the head. If you build the head, it'll give your teammates the opportunity to play the shots needed. Thank you very much for watching the second segment of Coach's Corner. Join us next time for the second part of this 4-part series, brought to you by Grip and Stuff.
I think as the rain comes down, I think, yes, Arthur, we are a bit cold and it's wet in Cape Town, but after like filming like that, I think English is run out of opge-Engels. But yeah, thank you very much to Anneke as well and her time and the PBA Foundation Academy allowing us to use their head coach to bring some value to our podcast or our vlog or our stream or our show. For those that do reside in the Cape Town area, she actually does coaching. So reach out to the PBA or the PBA shop and book a coaching session. She's actually available for coaching.
Okay.
And Hampo apparently is quite the note taker when it comes to coaching session.
Only for certain individuals will I travel along and take notes.
Yeah, so we're not going to elaborate on that, are we?
No,
Not.
No, we're not going to do that right now.
So I don't want to go into a long-winded discussion over this, but I want to finish the show off just with the Western Province Masters. And unfortunately, like a year ago, I think we've got a lot to learn from how JBA does things, and not only us, I think around the country, where firstly, a selection policy shouldn't be written by the selectors. I mean, if we've seen how much our selectors change every year, which means that every year your selection policy will change. You can't have that. The selection policy should be written by the executive and enforced by the selectors. And I don't think that's happening. But for me, the biggest challenge I see is not the Open Masters. I think those that playing in the Open Masters, the same as last year, is the deserved names there. They've qualified through various channels. For me, the challenge and comes in what they now call the Development Masters. So what you're doing is you're throwing your next in line players in the bin and saying, okay, we don't want you, or you're not getting. We don't want you to gain experience, or you're not going to gain experience. We're going to give other a chance, which is fair. But what I do see there is a difference in the interpretation from the lady selectors and the men selectors. Now, I'm saying it's a difference in interpretation causes chaos.
Yeah.
So I think the phrase says the Development Masters is for young players that's up and coming and has the potential to play in the Masters. Now, define young. Okay, firstly, we need to define what young is. We're not going to define it because last year I stepped on toes and I'm not stepping on those toes again this year. But you need to define firstly what's young and what is up and coming. The second thing is with high potential, that shows potential. Now, what the men selectors have gone and done and said, we pick no one that's represented Western Province in the Development Masters, bar Ryan Treter, because he's still in development apparently, although he's played A-side. So not questioning although he might have qualified last year by winning. No, he didn't win under 18s last year, did he?
No, don't do him wrong, Gigi.
So development player, as they say, Ryan Treter, is in the Western Province A-side.
Yeah.
So pick where you want to put him, firstly. Then you go look at what the ladies have done, and they've put B-side players that's medalled now currently, and I don't think that's wrong.
Yeah.
But they've given them a shot. So where do you draw the line in selection in terms of how you interpret the policy?
Yeah, look, I'll try and touch on all those points. So starting at the back end point, so yeah, where do you draw the line with young? So let's take the game back 30 years. What was young? 45? 42, 43?
Maybe 55.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, the game has changed in that aspect, which is great. It's what we want to see. In terms of the selection policy being drawn up and belonging to the executive, yes. But then call in consultants, call in an Alan Oftas, call in a Neil Burkett, call in Kevin Campbell, and those guys, get their input. So listen, what do you think? Put that together, build it on that, and then structure it on that. Knowing that that's coming from a trusty, reliable source. I believe that would be a good way to go about it. And then, lastly, you don't remember the goal here is to build players, not to break players.
Yes.
So when you're leaving a player out in the loop, and I know we mentioned this last season when we spoke about it, but you're leaving a player out in the loop and there's no communication and they don't know what they've done wrong, even if they've done anything wrong. Maybe they've done nothing wrong. And there's no communication there. You're leaving that player out there hanging to dry. You know what I'm saying to you? So that's an important part of it as well. It's like you're saying, I think what they're doing with the ladies, and they're keeping the ladies that have made a Province B side and medaled in the mix in an invitational Development Masters, which in days gone by was always your avenue, your gateway to making the main Masters if you win it. Now it's played on the same weekend. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's I don't know. I'm
For
not,
me,
I'm
if
not
I
all there with it. John.
if I look at a development masters, if you call it a development masters, there shouldn't be an entry if you win that into the open masters.
No, correct.
I firmly believe there should be a place for your next in lines.
Yeah.
Your call it a B masters. I'm not saying your B side players. I'm saying your next in line players that compete for a spot in the open masters.
Correct.
And I feel your development masters should then compete for a spot in that B masters, if you want to call it that.
Or call it do a separate development masters and 2 spots out of that get into the invitational, whatever.
Something like that. 2 spots, your finalists, whatever. But I do feel that, and if you go look at the way JBA does it, it's the small things that they do that brings in the big results, and small things matter. I feel if I look at someone like Helio Andrade and Nicky Crawford, and if I look at Erkies Venter, Gareth Nell's in because he was a finalist. He automatically qualified last year. He lost 2 miles. But if I look at some of those guys that Werner van Deventer, and look, okay, record matters. But it seems like record only matters for some. I just feel that we're leaving players behind, and if you want to say, start off where we started in episode 1, say, what can we do to compete with JBA? Start doing the small things right.
Correct.
Someone like Angela Wolf, poor Angela, you know, she made one little comment which didn't even have anything to do with anything on Facebook 2 years ago, and she's still in the dark, not even getting picked or not even getting looked at.
That is what they say in Afrikaans, is scores.
Yeah, well, I mean, she got a slap on the wrist, but I just feel that someone like Angela is hard done by in this potential but there's still players playing in the ladies division that there was a clear rule in the selection policy that if you finish 5th and 6th in your section, you're not allowed to play the next year. There's someone that finished 5th in that section that's still playing.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the same time we got to remember that how big this district is and how many players we've got. We've got a lot of players around. So I remember when a couple of seasons back, the comment got made to me a few times, hey, so hardly done by hard luck, you never made it and all that kind of thing. And I remember saying to 1 or 2 people, you know, it's important to keep your feet on the ground and that kind of thing. I know with the competition that's out there from when I started playing bowls, the guys who came through the game with me, that there's 7 or 8 guys out there that can do exactly what I do. It's just about how often they do it, and then it comes down to record after that, you know. But so it can't be easy at the same time, but the system needs to be solid. You know?
Yeah, and unfortunately it's not, because it changes every year. Because I mean, we've had 5 different conveners in the last 6 years.
Correct.
So every time it changes and the interpretation changes. So basically you're saying someone to tile a picture that's now won bronze in the under 35s in a very strong field, I might add. I feel a bit stronger than what the Invitational Masters is.
Completely strong.
He's saying to him, unlucky, but you just carry on in under 35s, and then once you hit 35, it's done for you. And that's my case. That's Erkie's case. I was a bit more harrigat over the last 2 years, and didn't, you know, there's a bit more opportunities that I could have had that I said no thank you to, but just because I was a korrelkop, as they say in Afrikaans. And but my spine and my ruggraat was firmly intact by doing that. Any case, so I just feel that we're missing a trick with this, and it starts with the small things. You want to give your players a chance. You want to reward players that's been okay. Get your top 10 or your top 12 in the Open Masters, but what about your next 12? Why aren't we looking after that next 12? Yes, they have opportunities in club singles and go win the Champ of Champs. Yes, they have opportunities once a year to go and play in the Western Province singles and try and do well. But the fact that we don't have a B Masters or something for those next in line players, I think we're selling them short. And I think it's something that needs to be looked at. And in saying that, the selection criteria or policy needs to be reviewed. It needs to come from the executive and enforced by the executive or written by the executive so that the selection panel can enforce that. And unfortunately, I found around a bit in the week, and I found someone that spoke to someone in BGN. They used to do it like we did. They're changing it back now. When last did they men medal in the open districts? When last did they men medal in the Bs? Okay, they got a medal now, but they were poor. BGN was poor for a good couple of years because they just look at under 35s and they forget about their next in lines. Port Natal does it quite a nice way. They've got a Masters qualifier, and then I think they've got 16 in their Masters. And then I can't remember exactly how it worked. But JBA, they take the next best.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ekurhuleni does the same with their next best. It's not a development Masters. And if it's a development, the name Masters shouldn't be in it. It should be a development tournament with that going into a sort of B or invitational or presidents, and then those guys compete.
Wasn't it like pretty much working cricket days back in the day?
No, it's a similar.
Was it?
I don't know why bowls try and be different, or is it just us in Western Province?
I don't know.
So I think we're going to touch on the Masters a bit more next week.
Yes, we will.
This was just like a teaser for next week, just without upsetting anyone. I think too much.
No.
There might be people that's offended by what we say, but it's just our opinion as always.
Yeah.
It's we don't mean harm.
It comes from a good place and,
Yeah.
a love for the game.
It comes from a place of love of the game, and that's where that's all it is. It's
Just want to see our district do well and the best players play.
correct. We want to see the best players play. We want to see, which is in the open Masters, but we want to see everyone sort of. I'm not saying give everyone opportunity of participation ribbon. What I'm saying is we like to see guys battling it out and having opportunity. I mean, what a beautiful fairy tale story. James Galloway, 2 years ago, I think, maybe 3 years ago, won the presidents in JBA and then went and lost in the final of the Open Masters, or might have won. Sean Thomas, the same fairy tale story in the same year, won the presidents and won the Open Masters. Those fairy tale stories that actually put guys on the map.
Yes.
Because now you're giving a person an opportunity which they still have a lot to learn, and the development tournament is the place for them to go and learn, but that winner shouldn't get a spot in the Masters. I know it used to work like that back in the day. I just think you're weakening your field, with all due respect to the player winning it. But Hampo, me and you going to hit the bar for a quick one, because we've got one for the road.
Yeah, I'm going to have another one of these Cokes, apparently, which I had too many of.
Oh,
so I didn't
there was a
commentate.
comment made that you had one too many Cokes on Sunday.
Yeah, so there was some confusion. I never got notified to commentate the under 18 Masters, or sorry, the Masters Junior Final, under 35s, and whoever was commentating at the time said it was because I had one too many Cokes.
Was that said on air?
I believe it was said.
I think that's in poor taste. But also maybe just an opinion.
Maybe it was just a joke. I don't know. I haven't gone back to go listen, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, I think it's a poor comment. We'll be back with you next week. We'll take one for the road after we've hit the bar, so we can stay for a while. Next week, we'll have some new exciting content, Disability Masters, Western Province Masters. Send us your news of what you of the bowls on the weekend. We've got flag finals day tomorrow for First Division and lower. Send us some info that you've got if you want us to cover that. And we will see you same time, same place next week.
100%. Yeah. Stay safe, stay warm, and good luck on the greens tomorrow. Hopefully the weather plays its part.
And just check out our YouTube page, guys. We'll be posting this video on YouTube after this is aired. And then look out for our interview with Wade Pretorius that we also post on YouTube, as well as Coach's Corner. Like always, Ampo, a pleasure, my friend. And we'll catch you next week.
100%. Cheers.